So today we're looking at the Axler Pro Video Slider. Now, this slider is really superior to other sliders that I've tried around the same price point, and it almost compares to sliders that I've used that are $1,200 and up. So the build quality is great. The build quality of this thing is just superior. It's metal on metal on metal, and with carbon fiber rails and rubber feet. There's nothing to complain about the build quality. The build quality is awesome. The only plastic piece on the whole thing is the little handle you can attach to the flywheel. I personally don't ever use it. I just put it back on for this video, but after I'm done with this video, it's going to come right back off. So to adjust the legs, you have to undo this screw here and then pull the leg out and rotate it. And it actually has little intervals where you can rotate the legs to. It kind of locks into place, if that makes sense. You can also adjust the height of each leg. So it's really easy to mount a tripod head to the slider. I just wanted to also point out that there are a lot of other holes that you can actually thread into on the plate itself. And the same thing goes for the plate that's in the middle. You have a lot of different mounting options. And you also have threads on either side of the slider in case you want to mount it using two stands. It also has two threads on either side, so you can actually easily mount this vertically. It has a soft carrying case that's pretty well padded, and it's a case that I could actually see myself using. So the most important thing is, how well does the slider slide? And y'all, this slider is fantastic at sliding. Y'all, I get my shots right almost 99% of the time on the very first take. And what that means for someone who has a crappy slider right now, right? I bet you guys are used to doing this. Back and forth. Back and forth. Trying to get that one shot. Now, with this, I don't do that. I literally set the shot up. I do one take. I don't even watch it. And I move on to the next one, and I move on to the next one, and I move on to the next shot. And that's how I work. That's my workflow now. There is no redoing slider shots anymore. That will save you a bunch of time, and it's well worth the investment. Now here, I'm going to show you guys some shots that I've done with the slider. And basically, if you go through my channel, I would say in the past 4 months, every slider shot you see was done with this slider. So I did have one issue with this slider. It's not that big of a deal, but I do want to mention it. When I first got it, there was a little tiny bump in the belt. And it was so tiny that if you're moving at a normal speed like this, wouldn't even notice it. It was non-existent. But it wasn't until you slowed down and you tried to go really slow over the middle, you notice that there was like a little bump. It's not there anymore. I fixed it, but it was there when I first got it. Now, belts can form kinks. It's not an unheard of problem. It happens to every belt slider, right? A lot of it has to do with the way you store a belt slider. Now, if you store a belt slider like this, the proper way of storing a belt slider, if a bump forms where the gears are on either side, it's not that big of a deal because that bump is not in your slide at all. Versus if you store it like this with the slider right in the middle, now if a bump forms on the gears, that bump is going to translate when you slide right over that spot. So how you store your slider is important. And so when you first get it, it is stored, unfortunately, right in the middle. So that could be an issue, possibly, or could have just been my unit. But it's a really easy fix. You can stick your belt in some like warm water and that will re-euthanize the belt and get rid of any kinks. Or you can just buy a new belt for like 20 bucks. It's not that big of an issue. I've seen it on other sliders, but it is something I did want to mention in case you have that problem. Hopefully sometime in the future, we will see a motorized system for this because everything is right for a motorized system. Literally, it should be as easy as taking this flywheel off and popping the motorized system on. Should be that easy, and if that happens, that would be awesome. But if it doesn't happen, it's still one of the best sliders I have seen under $1,000, period. So anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure you like this video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.